Everyone, today in Warframe, we're gonna play a fun game. What is everyone's Warframe main without saying the name of the Warframe? I made a YouTube short, threw it across the socials, and got thousands of comments and responses, surprisingly. And y'all have a lot of creative and interesting names for Warframes without actually saying the names. So let's go over what's actually going on, what everyone submitted based on like top comments on YouTube. First and foremost, can't expect God to do all the work, said let's go gambling. A classic let's go gambling meme thrown in there, okay? That's obviously Koumei, she is the gambling Warframe. You can get her on like Cetus Sia's Vision, and she's actually a really good Warframe, just primarily based on gambling. So if you like RNG Warframe, where you don't really 100% know all your numbers, hey, she's pretty cool. Next up, we have Christian Cruz says, you're up against the wall and I am the fucking wall. So I want to say this is a classic shout out to our brick shithouse of Qorvex. Qorvex being our tanky brick Warframe. He's literally like just bricks slotted in constantly 24/7, okay? So he is a really good Warframe, but he is just a tank brick house of radiation and death and despair. So 10 out of 10, good stuff, Qorvex. And there's also a bajillion more of these comments across the other socials on the shorts on YouTube and everything. So remember to go check out all of that, you know, twitch.tv/Pupsker, where we stream shenanigans like this. And thank you for using Epic Games creator code Pupsker if you do use the Epic Games Store. Continuing on, I cannot say this name. Shai Monomagata. Okay, no, I can't read it. Sorry, my brain's broken. Now, it's between Broken Glass Everywhere or Chaotic Science Experiment. Okay, so we got a twofer on this one. So Broken Glass Everywhere, I think is self-explanatory. Gara, she is the glass frame after all. She has AoE defensive glass. She has like DR. She has damage glass whip, right? Cool abilities overall. I'm not a huge Gara player myself, but hey, I get it. Or Chaotic Science Experiment. That one I'm actually really not too sure about. I think it could be like Lavos is the alchemist, like scientist, right? And Zaku is like an experiment of like 5 or 3 frames thrown together. But Nidus is also kind of like a science experiment. So I'm not 100% sure what they're referring to. Maybe it's like Valkyr because it's like chaotic science experiment. Yeah, I'm actually not 100% sure on that one. So if you've got any good guesses for that one, let me know. I should have like wrote down what anyone responded to just in case, but then I would have known and then that would have been too easy. Okay, either way, continuing on. Alphard says guitar solo, fuck yeah. So that is clearly a Flare / Temple, one of the, I think actually like the latest Warframe in the game, right? One of the latest, yeah. Temple is the glam rock, essentially, Warframe that has the guitar Lizzie, has AoE abilities of fire and all the other elements when you use the guitar. Overall good frame, but didn't use Flare's Temple's kit a ton, so not a huge fan, but is a good frame if you like the kit. Next up, Scott Jutras says, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. So, okay, nobody expects. At first I was thinking like, oh, do we have like Spanish? Do we have a Spaniard freaking Warframe like Limbo? I don't know. This one really threw me for one, but I think I saw a comment that's like maybe Harrow, right? Because Harrow's the opposite, like the Crusader, right? Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Well, I guess they are the Crusaders of the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah, so I mean like, okay, I think Harrow does make sense, but I honestly just wasn't too sure on that one for a while. I guess that makes sense. If it doesn't, yeah, let me know. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that one. Next up, Ross Desi says, you're a wizard, Harry. That one is quite obviously to ya boy, our lovely wizard frame, Dante. I think in my mind, we have like a wizard frame of Dante and a witch frame out of Wisp IMO. Cheers, cheers. Because I really think Wisp is the witch frame and Dante's the wizard. So on this one, I am going to go with Dante. I think it's like pretty self-explanatory, and he's like kind of like Hagrid, you know? I love Tony Hawk Pro Skater with a pinch of Hello Kitty, said Jordan Firstland. That is true. I see what they're saying with that. It's obviously Yareli. If you didn't know, Yareli is the Warframe open world Fortuna frame. She has a K-Drive, which is a Warframe skateboard. She is actually like a pretty much a secondary weapon damage character because she's primarily with her passive meant to use secondary weapons. Really strong overall, good damage and some good CC. And even like with 90% damage reduction, she's actually very strong. So yeah, would recommend. Makes sense. I think I'm right on that one. This next one from It's Mestiff. Cowgirl isn't just a position, it's the position. Okay, this one also stumped me for a little bit when I first saw it. After all, I did have to collect the comments, so I've had time to stew on these ones, okay? At first, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Then I was like, wait, no, Mesa is a cowgirl, right? So it's probably Mesa, because I couldn't think of a single other thing it could be other than like just Mesa. So have to say it's probably Mesa. I was trying to think, I'm like, do we have a bull? Like no, we have a rhino frame, but it wouldn't be Rhino. Rhino's not a cow, he's a bull, he's a rhino, right? Anyways, so I would go with Mesa on that one, you know? Judge me if you will, if you think it's right or wrong. Oh, we have a triple. What the Mechman says. First, the Pope's historically accurate Glock might be referring to Harrow, okay? Second, is schizophrenic incarnate. I'm like, what schizophrenic incarnate? What is that, like freaking stalkers, like schizo? What is that, like, oh God, was it like Banshee? Maybe Mirage? I don't know, it's hard to think about it. Maybe Mirage, because like skits, I don't know. That one's a little rough one. And then the third, the thick one. Okay. This one could be anything. The thick one, it could be Rhino, it could be Hildryn. I would assume Hildryn if we're talking about thick, but it could also be Grendel, right? So that one is impossible. Warframe is a game with many thicknesses. So it could really be either one of those. Either way, let me know what you think on that one. It's a little tough. By the crit, the Nell, and the Holy Thurible, witness perfection. This one is quite obviously Harrow, right? Once you whip out the Thurible. Oh, the Nell, crit? Yeah, no. Clearly that one's Harrow with some good crits. Never actually used Harrow a ton, but if you want like an insanely high headshot damage crit frame for all your weapons, for like Incarnins or any niche sort of build like that, Harrow is pretty godly, okay? An absolute powerhouse of a Warframe, if you ask me. The next one we have by Brox Simon. If I don't say everyone's name, don't worry. I'll throw the comments up on the screen and everything. Teleporting Shankman. Okay, that one is quite obviously Kullervo. An insanely high damage. Oh, it could also be Ash, though. Shit, it could technically be Ash or Kullervo, because Ash is the assassin that teleports behind you and stabs you, whereas Kullervo is the like berserker who teleports behind you and slaps you. So Ash or Kullervo, probably Ash though, so teleporting Shankman. But this is 5 in total, right? Space Dad Trauma, that one I just is assuming like Stalker, like Space Dad. It's either Stalker or maybe like Excalibur. Oh, it could also be Frost if we're talking about Velimir. Shit. So yeah, technically it could be a couple of them there. Okay. Me, my bro, and my stick. That one is an obvious good shout out to your boy Wukong, right? Because you got Wukong, you got the Wukong clone, and then you got the Wukong's bow staff, right? The fourth ability, like the massive bow staff that is the exalted weapon of Wukong. That's the word I was looking for. Really good overall. Do people still shit on and meme Wukong a lot? I know that used to happen a lot, but I don't know. I haven't actually played Wukong in years, so maybe I'll make a Wukong video to find out. Nom Nom Uwu. That's probably Grendel, because Grendel says Uwu. If you didn't know, when you eat, he goes like Uwu when he hits his ability, right? When he hits that like AoE ability. So nourish maybe? Yeah, either, or maybe when he stomps for nourish, I mean. Either way, Grendel does say Uwu, so that's clearly Grendel. And then strangely attractive Wolfpack. This person's a furry. They want to fuck Varuna. They want to get in them wolf girl cheeks, okay? Clearly. But yeah, that is a shout out to Varuna, I would assume. Four-headed wolf lady. God, why do they keep making Warframes so hot? God. I have one for each of the focus schools. Nice, nice. So that was one. Now, Juan Flores, gas, 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 but with ice and fire. Okay, so I'm assuming that one would shout out to your boy Gauss, okay? Gauss just makes sense because you're fast AF, you're a pretty much race car, and you have the AoE Ice and Fire to get your ability like AoE damage down. So I think that one's like a clear-cut case in point, a Gauss. It just makes sense to me. Gauss Prime, Gauss, right? Call it which you will. But either way, nice one, nice one. Next one by Mr. Kenneth. Damn boy, he thick, and then rip and wee. See, here's the thing. For damn boy, he thick, I would assume probably Grendel, and then Rhino, and then Hildryn. On this one, I would just assume Grendel, right? Could be any. And then for rip and wee, I'm like, rip and wee. I was thinking of the Coda Motivore, because it was like rip and tear, and you just like ride the Motivore. So I don't really know 100% on that one. Someone said like, hey, maybe it's, I think like Valkyr, because you got like rip line, so like rip and wee. So it could totally be Valkyr. But if we think about that, it could also be like Araxia or maybe like a zipline, some characters. Like, oh god, who has a zipline? Is the Avaro era one of those a zipline? Either way, maybe it's Valkyr. It's hard to say for sure, but I'm gonna go with Valkyr because a rip line. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. We only have, you know, a good handful left, I think, actually. From Flarios 55, 1, the Flash, 2, Baby on Board, 3, One Punch. Okay, this one is also very like, okay, it could be anyone for the Flash, but most people would say the Volt is the Flash, whereas Gauss is, he's more so like a speedster. He's not Flash though. So I would say probably Volt, and then Baby on Board is naturally Jade, the Prego frame. That's her tagline, the Prego frame. And then last but not least, One Punch is a clear shout out to the one punching of the frame Atlas. You might think Baruch, but remember, no. Atlas has his one punch ability. So yay, good one there. Shout out to Atlas for being a sick frame. Next up we have from Ethan, a tie between Big Stick Go Bonk and 28 stab wounds. Oh, they said stab wounds, rip. So Big Stick Go Bonk, that's probably Wukong and the big Wukong stick. So good frame as well. And then the 28 stab wounds is quite obviously Kullervo. It's very interesting Warframe making the most emo frame possible here and there, as well as like BDSM frames, but good for them for getting their kinks out there, because yeah, goddamn hardcore knife play emo Warframe Kullervo, okay? Ugh, crazy times, crazy times. Next up from Xbox Worst Gamer, I am hard and I roar. Dear Lord, that, I don't know about that one. Aren't we all a little hard playing Warframe? But I know. Hold your applause, hold your applause. Either way, clearly that's Rhino. And then the I am a loud tank. That's just all of them, right? So just Rhino, assumedly. Rhino, loud tank, all of them, all the tanks are loud. Grendel, Qorvex, just bah. Either way, nice one, nice. Last one, and it's a triple, everybody. We have Wernote Lola. Oh god, probably messed up your name, but thank you. 1, Angry Lady. I would assume Angry Lady is Valkyr because of a hysteria, like AoE loud roar and stuff. 2nd, Alchemist Tube Men. That one is clearly Lavos, okay? Lavos Prime. And then last but not least, Cat with Chains. Oh shit, you mean Angry Lady isn't Cat with Chains? Wait. I can only think, no, Cat with Chains, that's Khora. No, Khora is Cat with Chains. Yeah, because Valkyr is the cat, really. She's a Valkyrie, but Khora, yeah, no. So Cat with Chains is clearly Khora, so yeah, let me know how I did. I think we probably got most of them, because most of them, to be fair, are like pretty obvious gimmies as long as you know Warframe. People aren't throwing in anything too difficult and hard and niche, but there are a lot that can be like multiple frames and very broad. So hey, fair enough. Let me know how you think I did. As always, if you want to support the channel, check out the socials, like on YouTube, you know, to support that sweet YouTube algorithm. You can always use Epic Games creator code Pupsker as well if you use the Epic Games Store. And I get like my affiliate code kickback. So thank you all so much, and I will see you next time. Cheers.